Canelo Alvarez says he's going to fight smart against Sergey Kovalev as he moves up to the light heavyweight division. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We work and sign up for ESPN Plus. I'm an affiliate, so it helps my channel when you do that. And let's get into it. Canelo did an interview with TUDN, and he says, we believe we have the capabilities to win this title versus Kovalev at 175. You have to take risks to make history, and this is what I am doing. Eddie Reynoso began to think about having a fight with one of the best at 175. I finished the Daniel Jacobs fight, and we started looking for it. The fourth title, and very few have achieved it. Being champion in 3 divisions is a lot for me and my story, but we want more. Regarding diet, he says, we are consuming a lot of carbohydrates, proteins. I don't do weights. My biggest motivation is the people who follow me, and in the end, there are more of them when my fights are over. I don't focus on defeating my detractors or those who don't believe in me, but without wanting to, I always kill 2 birds with 1 stone when I win. In boxing, you have to take care of yourself. Many people tell me that I haven't had as many wars as others have had, but there's no need for you to let yourself take a beating and be bloody to be a great fighter. I fight with my style. Making it a war does not necessarily make it a great fight. I am not going to stop what I'm doing to get all bloody and get knocked down all over the place if I don't need to. So he says he's going to be reasonable and be sensible. As far as that, I don't have no problems with that. You know, you definitely got to fight for the victory. You got to fight to win. There's a lot of fighters who, you know, seem to want to fight for the crowd, or when the crowd starts booing, they, you know, want to like up the ante, and then they make mistakes. And, you know, would you rather win or get knocked out trying to impress somebody? So Canelo's 1,000% right, you know, heading into the Kovalev fight. Plus, you're dealing with a heavy-handed guy who's killed a man in the ring. This is fact. Kovalev has literally killed somebody fighting, and you know, he's dangerous. He has heavy hands and things like that, and he's naturally the bigger guy. He's the taller guy, so Canelo's gonna have to fight smart. I have a weird feeling about this fight. I just hope it doesn't look like anything like fake or phony or in on the cuts, or, you know, just not turn out to be a good fight. I just hope it's not like some bullshit or lackluster. So I'm trying not to think negative. Canelo, as far as this 3 to 4 division thing, we got to talk about it. Canelo keeps saying this, oh, I want to get belts in 4 divisions. Not many have done it, but, you know, Canelo, he's kind of gaming the system. He's the biggest thing in boxing. He's the biggest, you know, the face of boxing or whatever right now. And he has shot caller abilities. Like, he can pull the strings necessary to make really whatever fight he wants to. And he's kind of doing that, and he knows that, and he's abusing it. And, you know, really his 3rd division, for those who don't know, he fought Rocky Fielding, who had really a secondary belt. That's why if you look at the rankings at 168, which is his 3rd division, you have 2 WBA champions or whatever, because they have a super and a regular belt. You have Caleb Smith, who already knocked out Rocky Fielding before Canelo, and he did it quicker than Canelo, you know, because he's big. And then Canelo later knocked him out because he fought some random guy for this secondary belt. So, you know, this is really kind of a lot of smoke and mirrors, and it shows you the problem within boxing. Too many belts and the alphabet belts and this types of thing where, you know, if Canelo really wanted to make a statement for the 3rd division, his team, including Oscar De La Hoya, have long talked about fighting Caleb Smith. Canelo has worked with Eddie Reynoso, he's worked with Eddie Reynoso, but he's also worked with Eddie Hearn on his last few fights. Rocky Fielding's Eddie Hearn fighter, Danny Jacobs is, and now Triple G, but Triple G wasn't with Eddie Hearn at the time. So Canelo's last 2 opponents have been fighters who fight on DAZN and also fight with Eddie Hearn. So with that being said, I think it would have been feasible or doable to see Canelo fight Caleb Smith. That would have made a bigger statement at 168 because Caleb Smith had already knocked out Rocky Fielding, and he later became a champion through a secondary additional belt. You know, and it's funny how boxing works. When Triple G was in that situation with Danny Jacobs, everybody, they recognized Triple G as, rightfully so, the real champion, the super champion, because he was the one that had the, you know, the belt with more merit, the super belt. And then he ended up fighting Jacobs to consolidate that, similar to what we've seen with Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman this year, right? So Canelo, even his third division is not really impressive, and it's not really, you know, it's a champion based on the availability of the alphabet belts. You know, he didn't fight the guy who just won the Ali Trophy in the World Boxing Super Series, who had already knocked out the guy. He fought the guy's leftovers for a secondary belt. So, you know, miss me with this whole 4-division champion, because that's really based on a calculated technicality. You know what I'm saying? Too many belts in boxing, and this is the problem. But Kovalev, that's no Rocky Fielding. That's a more dangerous fight. Still think it's an advanced cherry pick just because Kovalev looks to be on the way out. He has all these legal issues that he's dealing with behind the scenes. He has a very fast turnaround, and he was just in a tough fight with a young, strapping, big kid who hurt him and nearly stopped him, and that was Anthony Yarde. Very good fight this year between the two of them. So I think Canelo's trying to capitalize on the moment and the fact that Kovalev, he's not looking like the crusher anymore. So we'll see if Kovalev has anything left in the can in order to, you know, upset Canelo or make it a fun fight. But I have some reservations about it. It just the kind of the deal. The deal is this. Some of you guys don't know this. If Kovalev beats Canelo, he can go back to ESPN. And you know, there's probably a rematch clause, so Canelo could choose to rematch him or whatever. But if Kovalev loses, then he has his next few fights, 2-3 fights on DAZN. So I don't know. I just have a weird feeling, like the fact that they made this deal. I hope Kovalev don't go in there and look worse than anyone's we've seen him, like, and not look like the Kovalev that showed up in the Eliter Alvarez rematch or the first Andre Ward fight, or, you know, even the one with Anthony Yarde where he bit down in those crucial moments. I hope it doesn't look like no fixed shit. I really do, because that seems like a weird deal that they already have a situation set up. If Kovalev is to lose, then he's going to be on DAZN still, and he's an ESPN fighter. You know, that seems kind of weird. And it's weird that Canelo and his team are so confident in a man who's killed another man at a higher division who's bigger, and they just like that style so much. And the sad thing is people like Demetrius Andrade and Charlo, who Canelo's at 160 and 168, and he's already a champion there. A unification, to me, makes more sense because, again, this is cherry picking around. I think Andrade and Charlo can present a very stern challenge, maybe beat Canelo. You know, I'd probably favor at least one of them, if not both of them, to beat Canelo stylistically. And they have to keep calling him out and can't get a shot. And then the guy who has a soft body, susceptible to body shots, vulnerable, almost got stopped in his last fight, been stopped 2 of his 3 losses, etc., been through wars, older, he gets to fight, you know. And I don't think they've done a good job promoting this. So, you know, there's a lot to be said about this fight. Plus, it's competing with Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal with the UFC 244. You know, you guys could purchase the UFC 244 through me using the link in my description. I just think by far that's the better fight because it's an intriguing matchup. We never seen both those guys in the UFC carry momentum, and they're coming off really strong wins. Nate Diaz versus Pettis, and he looked good coming off of a long layoff. I think what was his last fight? Conor McGregor. He was on a long layoff, and he handled business as that. And then Masvidal's been on a tear, knocking out Darren Till and Ben Askren in 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's the more intriguing combat fighting sports event than this particular fight. I think I have a good idea how this fight will play out with Kovalev, but, you know, I'll check them both out. Let me know what you guys think. Canelo says it doesn't make sense to, get battered and bruised up and bloody if you don't have to. I just think Canelo, he's gonna be faster than Kovalev. He has faster hands. Kovalev has no inside fight game, and I look for an aggressive Canelo in this fight, with Kovalev having more of that traditional, quote unquote, stereotypical Eastern European style. That's how I see it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. That's really it. But I would like to have seen Canelo versus Andrade or Charlo, instead of all the man fans making excuses as to why they don't deserve a shot at Canelo, but Kovalev does. Them guys are undefeated and they have belts in the division as a unification. So they're champions no matter what you slice it. And even guys at 168, there's the fights with David Benavidez. He just stopped Anthony Durrell, who had never been stopped. Artur Beterbiev, Alexander Vodstik. That's a good fight. Why not fight the winner of that? Why not fight Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, since November 2nd is the final day of the Dead, which is a Hispanic Mexican holiday to embrace, and it's a remembrance day, a couple days to celebrate the dead and the deceased and the people who are no longer with us. You get what I'm saying? Why not fight Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez? He's at 175 now, instead of Kovalev. That would have been more of kind of an action fight. Kovalev, we seen him fold and kind of not like it to the body. We never seen that with Zurdo Ramirez, with Caleb Smith, with David Benavidez, with Jamal Charlo, with Demetrius Andrade. These are the facts, people. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.